Welcome to Evolution. My name is Andre Lawrence, and if you live in a northern climate like I do, and here in the province of Quebec, and it's winter, and you get snow and ice, if you don't have a gas car, which throws off a ton of heat, then you'll know that an electric car has something that can be a bit of an annoyance, and that's when ice and snow gets jam-packed at the base of the windshield and freezes up your wipers. Well, there are some manufacturers that have some windshield covers, like this one that I've got here that I bought for my Niro EV back in 2019. But there are different sizes, different qualities. If you want to find out all about it, stick around, I'll show you in a few seconds. Like I said in the intro, a gas car has an advantage by being super wasteful with its energy use. In other words, that it burns most of its energy in terms of heat. The advantage that has is that when the engine gets hot, first of all, the hood gets all nice and warm, so all of this stuff kind of melts off. But the best advantage that it has is that the heat will clear all of the snow and ice from the base of the windshield, meaning that this is never a problem, where an electric car has no heat and it can get packed with snow and ice, and what that means is that sometimes your wipers will be basically jammed up. Now, I've had that happen to me previously, and I had to park my car in an underground garage to get it all to melt. Well, the solution that I found was to buy a proper cover for my Niro EV, and that cover was very useful, but on a wider car like the EV6, the EV9, the Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6, and the Polestar, and a lot of these cars are a lot wider than the Niro EV was, or is, and that means that my cover, it kind of fits, but not quite. Now, I saw a Facebook post that showed me one of these covers, and this is actually the cover that I bought from my Niro EV, but the problem is this bottom portion is designed for a car with a metal hood. It's also a little bit small because the Niro EV is a smaller car. This was fine for that car, but for my EV6, it's not quite wide enough and it doesn't go down far enough on the hood. So even if it's not windy, I do have some gaps. So I bought 4 different covers that I thought would be interesting, and I went from the cheapest I could find to what I consider too expensive for one of these cheap covers, but I wanted to see if there was going to be a difference. So the 4 brands that I bought, and these are Amazon brands invented in China, and you're going to love these names. The first one is called Tsisoam, and yeah, it's just a bunch of letters put together, and I'll have that on the screen for you to see how it's spelt. The next one is actually sounds like a word, Gintenco, but the third one is Xzxwzx. Literally, that's the name that they put on it, and that's on the Amazon ad, and I don't know where these guys make up these names. And the last one is Migaven, and when I saw it, I said, I've got to buy it. It sounds like MacGyver. So there you go. So let's have a look at this first one. This is the Migaven cover, and it's the cheapest one. And the nice thing is that it comes with this little case. And what really surprised me at $19.59, and I'll have all the information in the description below, is it comes with this nice cover, but it's the quality of the build. Now, this particular cover has what seems to be a very tear-resistant, a very robust material, and the stitching is fantastic. Everything just feels really high quality. Actually, this feels higher quality than the one that I paid $40 for, which was a bit of a surprise. It's got the same kind of ears that you stick into the doors, and it's got a little bit of, I guess, foam piping in it so that it doesn't slip out, and it's got the same kind of elastics. But this one is quite large, and it'll fit onto the car because it's designed for, I think it's SUV or truck or whatever it said. Another thing that it's got that mine doesn't have is these elastics. Now, these elastics on the cover are to prevent the part that's on the hood from flapping up in the wind. And I've got a couple other models that have this as well. But this one it's built really well.
The Migaven is a great size for larger vehicles, was tall enough to cover the entire windshield of the EV6, and long enough to completely cover the wiper area. The ears that go inside the doors are well placed, and the elastics for the mirrors fit well. Installing the elastic straps around the wheels is easy enough and ensures the lower portion of the cover doesn't lift in the wind. However, the outer edge at the base of the windshield does lift a bit, which can allow blowing snow to creep in. One thing to note is that I could have inserted this top portion further inside the car door to make the top fit more tightly. Overall, the fit of the Migaven is excellent.
Let's get to the next one. The Xzxwzx. which is the one that I paid $20.79 for. Now, this particular cover, it comes, sorry about that, comes with a little case, and this one's kind of a cheapy kind of material, and it's fine, but we'll get rid of that. The material on this one feels okay. The quality of the build is, I guess it's like a $20 build. The front side is fine. The back side is very similar. There's not much of a difference. The stitching is okay. It feels a little bit cheap. Now, it's got the same kind of ears, but these ears they're very thin plastic, and it feels kind of cheap. And it's got this little strap that clicks on the inside. You got a strap on each side, so when you put it through the doors, you clip it on the inside, and it's to prevent it from being pulled out. Because, like I said, this is kind of thin. Now, the bottom part, well, this got the same elastics for the mirrors. The bottom part also has these elastics. Now, the elastic on this one is actually also quite high quality. It seems to be the same one as on the Migaven.
The Xzxwzx, and I'm only going to say that once because it's a little ridiculous, installs similarly to the others, but adds a retention strap on the inside of the car, which adds an extra installation step. It's also a bit of a tight fit at the base of the windshield, but still covers nicely because of the wheel straps. As you can see here, it isn't quite wide enough at the bottom, and there's a slight gap where snow can blow in. One thing to note is that I could have tightened the top part by inserting it further into the doors on both sides.
The next one is the Gintenco. Now, this one resembles the one that I bought for my Niro EV, except for the fact that it's larger. And I paid $22.39 for this one. Let's get rid of the manual, because who reads manuals? Now, this has a similar build as the one that I bought, like I said, for my Niro. What you see here isn't actually stitching. It's kind of like a heat stitch. In other words, it melts it together to prevent it from coming apart. It's got some sort of material inside. It feels a little bit thicker. It's got the nice reflective material. This is kind of a cool thing because in the summer, let's say you're in your car and you want to do some camping, you can put this on the outside of your car and you can keep the sun off the windshield and it'll prevent some of that heat from getting in the car. I thought that was kind of interesting. The backside is black, just like the one I bought for my Niro, and the build quality seems fine. Now, if we look over onto the sides, you've got the same kind of ears. Now, the ears on this one they're better than on that last one I showed you. This one feels more robust. It's got the same kind of elastics for the mirrors to prevent it from flying off. And then you've got no elastic for the bottom.
The Gintenco is a bit of a tighter fit and is also the cover that has the worst protection where you need it the most. Since it has no straps, as you can see, the wind just lifts it up, meaning the snow and ice will get into the wiper area at the base of the windshield. Because of this issue, that eliminates the Gintenco for me.
Now, the last one is the one I didn't want to buy because it was 40 bucks. Now, this is the Tsisoam or whatever it is. It comes with a nice bag. It's got a nice little close to the zip thing, whatever it is. And the build quality is nice. And I know you say you get what you pay for, but with these Chinese products, you know, it's a hit and miss kind of thing. This one seems to be pretty good. Now, what I like about this one is its overall size, and you'll see when I install it on the car how it looks. It's got the same reflective material on the front. It's got the same black backing, very similar to the last one that we just saw. It feels quite similar. And it's got these ears. Again, the ears on this one also feel robust. It seems it comes out of the same place as the last one. The difference is when we move down. Now, for the mirrors, instead of having just elastics, it's got these little hats. So in other words, the mirrors get covered by these as well. So you won't have any snow and ice that'll accumulate on the mirror side, which I thought was pretty cool. Then, as you move down, you've got the elastic for the portion that sits on the hood that get tied onto the wheels. Compared to the other two cheap ones, considering that I paid 40 bucks for this, the plastic part feels okay. The plastic is nice and seems like it's flexible enough that when it gets cold, it's not going to break when it bends a little bit. But this isn't sewn on. It's just this little pull elastic with holes in it, and I'm afraid that over time those holes might rip.
The Tsisoam is one of the larger covers with the Migaven and installs just as easily. It has the advantage of having full mirror covers, which is very nice. The wheel straps are installed like with the other versions that have them, and the windshield coverage is excellent at both the top and the bottom. The fit is excellent, although like with all covers tested, the outer edge at the base of the windshield has a slight gap where snow could blow in.
So out of the 5 covers that I've got, the one for my Niro and the 4 that I purchased for this video, which is the one that I've chosen to use on my EV6 and that I know will fit on the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, EV9, Ioniq 9, and a whole bunch of other EVs that are a little bit wider and larger? Well, I've decided to go, kind of surprisingly, with the most expensive one because the first one I got in my hands was the Migaven one, whatever, and the quality of the material is actually really good. And I wanted it to fit better, but the overall fit when it was installed is a little bit less than the way this one fit on my car, and I really like the fact that it's also got these little ears. Now, I'll have a link to this and the other ones in the description below, but I'll have a little note to the one that I've chosen for my car saying this is the one. And the links that I've got in the description are affiliate links, so if you do choose to click on them and purchase anything on Amazon, it costs you nothing, but I might make a half cent on everything you buy, so thanks if you use those links. Now, speaking of using this is just an installation fitment and how I think it's going to protect my car. The one that I've had for my Niro, I've had for years, and I've used it even on my EV6, even though it's a little bit too small, and it's been very durable and has lasted. I think this one's going to do the same, but what's it really going to be like? Well, I'm going to have to use it for a couple weeks or maybe a month or so, and then have to make a follow-up video.
This video was recorded before the Christmas holidays, but we were unable to get it produced until now because of the holidays and work. In case you weren't aware, YouTube is a hobby of ours and we have full-time jobs, so this video is unfortunately not out when it was supposed to be. The advantage is that I have now used the covers for 2 months and have a clear winner. The 2 standouts are the cheapest one, the Migaven at $19.59 Canadian, and the Tsisoam at $39.99. Although the Migaven is excellent, the way it fits at the outer edges of the base of the windshield left a slight gap where snow could blow in. However, the main reason I chose the Tsisoam is because of the mirror covers. Not only does the Tsisoam cover the outer edges of the windshield better than the others I've tested, the mirror covers are a big advantage. For my daily use, the Tsisoam is the clear winner.
But to see that follow-up video, YouTube has changed some things, so here's a message from somebody important that's going to tell you what you need to do. Did you know that YouTube gave all YouTubers a really terrible gift for the holiday season? It's a change in the way YouTube distributes videos. Did you know that even if you're subscribed to a really friendly, happy, Christmassy kind of channel, well, that doesn't mean that you'll know when our videos come out. That means that we work really hard to make really funny and interesting videos and try and inform you about some really cool things about electric vehicles, but you'll never know unless you click on that notification bell. Yep. That's right, the notification bell has become almost as important as the subscribe button for a YouTuber. That means that they have to dress up in stupid costumes and wear really funny slippers and try and get cats to sit on their laps, but then they scratch them and they decide they don't want to be in their laps, and then they have to bleed and then go to the bathroom to wash their hands and... Please hit that notification bell and make sure you're subscribed. That means you'll know when our videos come out and we won't have to hassle you with ridiculous videos like this. Happy holidays! If you wanted to give David and myself a Christmas gift, it's something that costs you absolutely nothing and is something that's super easy, and that's sharing this video in forums and Facebook groups where you think people will find this information interesting and where it's pertinent. So thank you very much if you've already subscribed, and as usual, David and I thank you for taking the time to watch our video.
I know that we always usually have bloopers at the end of each video, but we recorded this one so quickly and without any real preparation that we just kept what we had to get it done because we were recording another more complicated video on the same day. So instead of bloopers, you get to see the cat that didn't want to participate in the Santa portion of this video. Little bugger.